Film 90.
And now on BBC Two, later than originally planned, highlights of the first day in the third test.
Mike Atherton just had one of those days on Monday. The chances came and went, but in the end it seemed that nothing went right for England. But after 2 days of quiet reflection, the captain's in a buoyant mood leading into the third test.
I'm very confident we have the ability to compete with the West Indies all the way through this series. I think we saw in the last game, we dominated the first 3 days. We got into a winning position. Unfortunately, we didn't capitalise on that, and that was the most disappointing thing, the fact that we really dominated for the first 3 days and had a horrendous day on day 4, and that cost us the match.
Good evening and welcome back to Port of Spain for the third test in this 6-match series, with England of course already 1-0 down after their disappointment here on Monday. Well, they've got to pick themselves up now. They can't afford to lose here again. There's the prospect of 2 flat batting pitches to come in Guyana and Barbados, and the England players know it'll be very difficult to bounce back from 2-0 down. Well, it should be a terrific atmosphere here. It's red hot. The ground is absolutely sold out. So while I cool off in this pool, which has been very thoughtfully placed here for England spectators, we'll join Michael Holding out in the middle.
Jonathan, obviously not as much water out here as where you are, but this pitch, which is adjacent to the pitch that they used for the previous test match, certainly has a bit more moisture in it. There is a fair covering of grass as well. Not as much grass as the other test match, because you can definitely see a few bare areas here, and it's a lot darker. That implies that there's a bit more moisture in this surface. A few cracks around as well, but one would not suspect that these would open up too quickly, and you would think that although there is a bit of moisture, the ball should come onto the bat, not as quickly as the previous test match. But the problem area, I would think, is just outside the left-hander's off stump again. We see quite a few cracks here, and these cracks are a lot wider than the cracks that we saw in the middle of the pitch. Obviously, the bowlers are going to follow through into this area again. Obviously, this area is going to be dug up a lot quicker than we saw on the previous pitch. Not as much grass to bind it together. So it seems as if the left-handers are going to have a few more problems again.
The toss was once again won by Mike Atherton, only this time he decided to put West Indies into bat. One change to England's side as Adam Holyoke, who has a back strain, is replaced by Mark Butcher. Mark Ramprakash, incidentally, is in bed with flu. As for the West Indies, no change to the team which won that nail-biting match on Monday. We join the action in the first over. Dean Headley is bowling to Sherwin Campbell, and there's 1 run on the board from a no ball.
Big shout. And Darrell Hare says not out. Nothing changes for England. The umpires are saying not out.
I think Darrell here has said not out the call at all. Just hit above the roll, which more times than not umpires give not out.
There's no third man. It will race away down for 4 runs. Sherwin Campbell off the mark, not particularly convincingly, but the West Indies finished the opening over on 5 without loss. Half volley on leg stump, and Crawley will have a very long chase. Dean Headley coming around from long leg will beat him to it. 3 runs to Stuart Williams. It's a smashing delivery. That's what Atherton's looking for from Andy Caddick.
And a bit more consistently. That was a beauty. Well pitched up, just a bit of sideways movement.
Up and over the top. 4 more. It's a productive area when England are bowling. Third man. Eddie Nichols is the umpire at Andy Caddick's end, standing in just his second test.
Good movement of the seam there for Dean Headley. Ball not carrying through to the wicketkeeper though.
That's beaten Fraser this time.
Not a great deal of movement either through the air or off the pitch with that delivery, and he just pushed it through the offside.
Angus Fraser, who's coming on to replace Andy Caddick.
Down between gully and cover point for 4. Flailing stroke by Williams.
Set the crowd alight, that one.
That's the new stand here at the Queen's Park Oval, completed in time for this match. Wasn't quite ready for the last one. It really is quite an imposing stand here.
Got him! Well done, Caddick. Absolutely the right decision now. Beautifully held low at slip by Graham Thorpe. The swing did it for the big Somerset paceman.
And just making it to Graham Thorpe, who catches it well. Loosener, just a little bit of a way shape. And well clutched.
There has been, and it's no great surprise, a marvellous reception for the captain of the West Indies. 2 tests in charge, one this series, one last year against India, victorious twice, and here he is on his home turf, never incidentally having made 100 in Trinidad in a test match. Lara's away, and what a way to go. Wonderful timing and footwork for a man who's fresh out of the dressing room. Tell you. Remember that the ball has to pitch, or hit the batsman, I should say, between wicket and wicket.
Well, we're talking about him leaving this leg stump and getting over. This is pitched in line. Well, it's hard to see why that's not out.
Runs here for Lara, 4 of them. Didn't quite hit that where he meant to, actually, but because it came onto him a bit slower than he thought it might, he just adjusted, closed the face a bit earlier and timed it pretty well. That's a cracking stroke. Wasn't especially short from Fraser, and it certainly didn't rush onto him. So close to leg stump. Inside edge boot and rolling back.
That passed very close to the leg stump.
Carved away by Sherwin Campbell. So the epitome of a Caribbean stroke. Given it the full works outside off stump and picked up 4. Just a dot of cloud away over the northern ranges. Lara across again in front of all 3. And hitting it away very fine for 4 more.
Oh, how unlucky that is. Not only did it not carry, it went all on the ground, beats the middle of the bat, catches the edge, and goes for 4 runs. No justice.
So that is disappointing for the bowler. Good line by Caddick. Campbell very reluctant to come forward. Pulled away. Fraser won't get there. Threw mid off, 4 more. Lara determined to entertain his home crowd. There'll probably be 3 here. But Campbell's dropped his bat, so they'll only get 2. And that 2 brings up the 50 partnership. It's taken 76 balls and only 55 minutes. That's a terrible delivery from CADDICK, got just what it deserved. Four boundaries in the over, as well as a 2 and a 1. The overs cost 19, and the West Indies have advanced to 91 for 1. Thorpe's got him. He's catching well, Graham Thorpe, and that's a vital wicket for England, showing Campbell's innings is over, and the West Indies 2 down for 93.
I have to say that you always feel that Sherwin Campbell's going to give you a chance in this slip area. There's Angus Fraser plugging away, and Graham Thorpe again just getting it before it reaches the ground. Angus Fraser delighted, and quite rightly so.
The West Indies hero from that dramatic second Test match victory, Carl Hooper, comes out to join his captain. Fantastic costumes. Plenty more of those on view for Carnival, which is just about a week away now. Michael Holding thinks he's identified a newfound maturity about Carl Hooper. He's been a lot more consistent in recent months. He's always looked the part, always had all the strokes, never been hurried playing them. Sometimes he just flips the ball up in the air to a fielder for no apparent reason at all. In the air, and there it is! Brilliantly caught! Fantastic catch. Elation for Fraser in England. Hooper back to his old ways, just hits the ball up in the air for no reason at all, and another wicket for Gus Fraser.
Exactly what we were talking about, Bob. Here's that. Really, that's a nothing shot, but it is a magnificent catch. That is very high quality, and Mark Butcher, quite rightly, delighted.
Now England have 2 left-handers to bowl at. Shivnarine Chanderpaul comes in to join Lara, replacing his countryman Carl Hooper. That's shoveled away through mid-on. A lot of bottom hand in it. Tufnell just pulls it back, and they have to settle for 3.
Brings the 100 up.
Due to come in next, Jimmy Adams. Not in the pink of form, but on this surface, she should be okay.
Must have hit it, must have hit it. Now then, I think that umpire Nichols is having a chat with umpire Hare to find out whether or not the ball carried. I'm sure it did carry through to Jack Russell. Can't be any doubt, surely, about the under edge from Lara. Let's have a look. Did this carry? Sure did. I think it made it. 1 or 2 boos. That's actually the most conclusive of all the views. Yeah, it's given out. The light has gone the way of England. Brian Lara, the big man, has gone playing a stroke that he mightn't be proud of. We can spend a lot of time analysing whether it carried or not. The fact is, the ball wasn't there to pull, and Fraser, through his perseverance, has done the trick again. Jimmy Adams is the new batsman for the West Indies.
14 wickets in the series so far for Angus Fraser. Brilliant.
3 wickets have fallen for 7 runs in 36 balls. In a complete turnaround.
I hope she's wearing good sunblock.
No way to hide for poor Angus Fraser. He'll pull it back. How often does that happen in this game? Try to hide a man, try to give him a little breather. And he has to chase the ball something like 50 or 60 yards in the outfield immediately afterwards. Dean Headley continues now. Jimmy Adams in strike. And he's got it through. There's no third man. Outfield is quick, but not all that quick that the fielder can't pull it back. In fact, it should have been free. Chanderpaul a little bit hesitant in going for the third. So 2 runs to Jimmy Adams brings him 2,000 runs in Test cricket. 24th West Indian to reach that mark. Got off to a flying start, but in recent times his consistency has declined. A bit of a gamble by Mike Atherton this afternoon to send the West Indies in on winning the toss. Dropped it. Both hands to it. Going down. But both hands to it. And that's a chance. Dean Headley would reckon would have taken that catch 80% of the time.
Well, it's short and it's pulled, and it's not really pulled very hard. And well, Dean Headley got into position, then couldn't hang on to it.
Well, when you miss, I hit. And Fraser hit that time, but not quite in line.
I think it just might not have done enough. It's very tight, that. That is tight. There's one thing here that I think is interesting. The umpire's head here is outside the line of the stumps. Now, I'm not quite sure that he shouldn't actually be about here, his head, over the top of the stumps, to make a fair assessment if it pitches in line from stump to stump and whether or not it's going to hit. He is actually, I'm afraid, in the wrong position.
Well taken. Well, England taking a vital wicket there. Tremendous closing catch. The captain has snatched a catch out of nowhere, and Jimmy Adams, not for the first time, goes to a catch at short extra cover.
David Williams in at number 7 for the West Indies. Caddick into Williams. Oh, he's bowling first ball. Middle stump, cartwheeling out of the ground, and Caddick's back. Curtly Ambrose in on a hat-trick. Andrew Caddick has dismissed Jimmy Adams, and then David Williams with a first ball Yorker that homed in and cartwheeled his middle stump. Fine bowling from the Somerset and England man.
Always quite difficult to negotiate deliveries like that when you have just come to the crease. David Williams falling across the off stump and playing across the line of the ball. The line was excellent. The length was even better.
So here we are. Hat-trick ball. Caddick to Ambrose. Oh dear. Well, he was trying for the Yorker again, I think. And that is a fine over from Andrew Caddick. 2 wickets, 2 runs, and the West Indies in deep trouble. 132 for 6. smiling, but I'm sure he's happy. And here's Fraser. It's a good shot from Chanderpaul. It's one of his trademarks. Played with a lot of bottom hand and thumped through mid-on for 4. Ambrose has faced just the 1 ball, and Caddick's bowling to him. And he's off the mark with 4. Quite deliberately played down through third man. Bowled in. Nipped it back and clipped the top of middle stump. This is a golden spell from Andy Caddick. And the West Indies are 140 for 7. Kenny Benjamin, next man in for the West Indies, in at number 9, with his side in strife at 140 for 7. Andrew Caddick has taken 3 wickets in 5 balls, this being the 3rd, clipping the top of middle and off. Ambrose nowhere, just shuffling in the crease, and ecstasy for Caddick. Big appeal, and he's got to be out. Daryl Hare gives Kenny Benjamin out, 2nd ball. Caddick strikes again. That's his 5th wicket, and Kenny Benjamin has only lasted 2 balls. Nixon McLean in at number 10 for the West Indies. And in the middle of a blitz from Andrew Caddick, who's taken his 5th wicket, as Kenny Benjamin is plumb LBW. That would have hit nothing more than middle stump halfway up. Caddick's delight is obvious. Nixon McLean's 1st ball. And a very confident stroke gets him off the mark. It's a long chase for Michael Atherton. And McLean off the mark with 3.
Andy Caddick certainly is on fire. Look at that batting card. The last 4 all to Andy Caddick.
Oh, that's got to be out. That's just got to be out. There is no doubt about that at all. The ball is kept low. It's pitched in line, and Chanderpaul goes LBW to the persevering Fraser, who picks up his 4th wicket.
Courtney Walsh is West Indies number 11. It's up and over from Walsh. Three to Courtney Walsh. Through extra cover it goes, though. And they're back for 2.
It's been the most fantastically entertaining day's cricket, full stop.
That's a big hit. Headley takes it comfortably. The end of the West Indies innings. They're all out for 159. Nixon McLean, the last man out, for 11. Courtney Walsh left not out on 5. But what a day for England.
Oh, what an extraordinary collapse. 93 for 1 became 159 all out. 9 wickets going down for 66 runs. And ironically, Hooper and David Williams managed just 1 run between them. Andy Caddick took 4 of his 5 wickets in 2 overs. And once again, Angus Fraser has outstanding figures. He's already taken 16 wickets in the series. So England's batsmen had to go in and face the music. We pick up play in the 1st over. Walsh is bowling to Mike Atherton.
No 3rd man, so England are on the way. They'll pick up a couple here. got it, dropped it. Brian Lara. Hooper got the rebound but didn't hold it on. That was a comfortable catch straight into the lap, and Alex Stewart survives.
Had 2 bites at this, the West Indies. Lara really should have got this. Slip catches go, it was fairly comfortable. And then Hooper had a go at the rebound, and I thought he got it for a minute. Walsh is ecstatic, then particularly upset.
That's gone. So currently Ambrose strikes. England have lost their first wicket, their captain. 5 for 1.
Well, Mike Atherton looks surprised at this. It's kept a bit low, and he's right on the back foot. There's no doubt about it being out. And look how far back he is. No doubt in Darrell Hare's mind, and he's quite right. The England captain has gone. Michael Atherton for 2, LBW to Ambrose, and England are 5 for 1.
So John Crawley comes in to replace his captain. Walsh.
Every time you watch him, you're thrilled by the timing. Bowled him. Doesn't matter about the ball. If Curtly Ambrose has got it, it can shoot through at lightning pace. It can nip back off the seam, and it can do for John Crawley.
Well, there's not a lot you could have done with this, I don't think. It's again, it's nipped back. It hasn't bounced perhaps as high as he's anticipating. It's short of the length, but that's come back a long, long way. It's flicked the pads and flicked the stumps. Tremendous piece of bowling, and probably the batsman John Crawley can feel a little unlucky. He's gone for 1. It's 15 for 2.
Dean Headley, the night watchman, joins Stewart to see England through to the close, and this is how that innings now looks. Stewart lucky to survive the chance in the 3rd over, and this is how it stands. England 137 runs behind with 8 wickets in hand. But what an extraordinary day's play. 12 wickets going down in all, 11 of those after lunch. I don't think any of us predicted that. There's been a superb atmosphere here all day. I think the party behind me will go on all night, quite frankly. Join the fun tomorrow afternoon, Radio 4 Test Match Special at 2 o'clock. And of course, I'll be back with more highlights tomorrow night. But from a throbbing Port of Spain, good night.
And more information on the 3rd Test against the West Indies, including the latest results and reviews, is available at www.first.